Are the fish worth the cost of pole, line, and hooks? Is honor and competence in old age worth saving, self-denial, and hard work in youth? Would it not be better to spend your money and squander your time, knowing that when old age comes there will be a pension of $15 or $20 a month? These are suggestions that face earnest young people today. You can spend your time in the roadhouse, in the shows or dances, or idly roaming the streets. Or you can drive yourself to study and fit yourself for the place that is waiting. Everywhere big business is hunting for competent help, many mediocre men fill places of importance because no one can be found who is really fitted for the job. It is surprising how difficult it is to find even a good stenographer, to find someone who can take charge of a department and make it a success, to find someone who will take a vital interest in the work and put it over. Almost every man and woman is a time server. His ambition is to get his wages with as little work as possible. The new mental attitude is to get without giving. You cannot be a success and do that. The good old days of honest labor seem to be but a dream today. The road that leads to a good bank account is an uphill road, and most of us have to build the road ourselves. The hitchhikers are filling the road today. They want someone else's car to ride in. They want someone to buy the gas. They want someone to pay the taxes and give them free passage. Are you a mental hitchhiker? Are you a mental hobo? Or are you one of the fellows who pay the taxes, build the roads, and bear the burdens? If you are a success, you will have to bear the burdens. You will have to pay the taxes for 100 other people. The easy way is to hobo it. It is the way of least resistance. I believe a fellow can get used to going on short rations, wearing old clothes, and sleeping in the jungle. But as for me, I am going to go to the top. I am sending out this invitation for the rest of you to come with me. We will not find the road paved and cleared, nor will we find the crowd clapping for us at the beginning. We will meet the scorn of those who laugh at the plotter. We will hear the jeers of the careless, the mockery of the indolent, and the criticisms of the fearful. But none of those matter. What matters is the vision ahead, the destiny that awaits the diligent, the place carved out in the mountain of greatness for those who dare to labor. One day the roadhouse will be empty, the dances will be forgotten, the streets will be silent, and youth will have passed. On that day, when silver crowns your head and your bones move slower, will you be one who looks back in regret, or one who stands tall in harvest of what your discipline has sown? That choice is yours today. The cost of diligence may seem high, but the reward is eternal. You can spend now and be broke forever, or invest now and enjoy later. That's how life works. The laws of sowing and reaping do not bend to modern comforts or trends. They are eternal, unchanging. The world may change its systems and soften its edges, but the principle remains: what you sow, you will surely reap. There is no lasting substitute for preparation, no real shortcut to excellence. The skilled man will always be in demand. You may not see the results immediately. It may feel like your efforts are in vain, but they're not. Every book you read, every late night of study, every small job you do with excellence is compounding in value. It's not wasted. It's laying the foundation of competence that will stand when storms come. It's building your name, your brand, your legacy. People may mock you now, but they will seek your counsel later. They will come for help when their castles built on sand begin to fall. The one who spent his nights learning, serving, and building will become the rock others lean on. And there's something sacred about that. It's more than money, more than status. It's the inner strength, the honor of knowing you took the hard path and stayed true. You will never be ashamed for working hard. No one who built a strong life ever looked back and wished they had wasted more time. When your children look into your eyes, will they see a quitter or a warrior? Will they hear excuses or see a trailblazer? The cost is real, yes. You will lose some friends. You will miss some fun. You will walk alone at times. but you will gain yourself. You will find that the person you are becoming is worth more than the pleasures you left behind. You are not just preparing for a job, you are preparing for life. You are shaping character, developing grit, forging courage. These are the currencies that matter in life's true economy. The future is not in the hands of the gifted, it belongs to the faithful. Talent may open doors, but character keeps you in the room. And what is character but the sum of daily disciplines embraced in secret? So choose today. Will you be the hitchhiker, the dreamer who never acts, or the builder who refuses to quit? Will you ride in the back seat of life, or will you take the wheel? Time is the great equalizer. We all get 24 hours. The difference is what we do with them. The great names in history, the inventors, the leaders, the reformers, they all began like you. Ordinary people with extraordinary resolve. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't cry about their background. They worked, they sacrificed, they fell and rose again. They failed and learned. They dared to believe their life could matter. You can be one of them. Don't envy the rich, become valuable. Don't whine about what you lack. Multiply what you have. Even if you have no money, you have time. You have a mind, you have your word. Use them. If you do not use what you have now, you will not use more if it is given. The world gives more to those who prove faithful in little. That's the law. The test of greatness begins with small tasks. How do you handle pressure? How do you react when nobody watches? That is where the champions are born. The hobo wants results without the process. But there is no harvest without planting. You don't get fit by looking at pictures of a gene. You don't become wise by scrolling through quotes. You rise by action. You rise by consistency. Your destiny is tied to your discipline. Look around. Who are the people making impact? They are the ones who paid the price. While others slept, they worked. While others laughed, they studied. While others mocked, they built. You can choose their path. Or you can wait for luck, which never comes. Success is not magic. It is method. It is focus. It is the product of vision acted upon with sacrifice. Your family may not understand. Your friends may drift away. But your future self will thank you. You will smile someday and say, I'm glad I didn't quit. I'm glad I took the stairs when others waited for the elevator. Those who are at the top did not appear there. They climbed. They stumbled. They bled. They prayed, but they climbed. You must do the same, or you can wait. Wait for a miracle. Wait for a rescue. Wait until it's too late, and all you'll have is regret. That's the price of comfort. But not you. You were made for more. You hear this call because something in you agrees. Something inside knows that the easy path leads to a hard life, and the hard path leads to a life of meaning. Meaning is found in contribution, in becoming an answer, not a burden, in building something that lasts. The road may be long, but it's worth it. Don't stop, don't compare, don't complain, just build. One decision at a time, one step at a time. Let others coast, let others talk, you work, you rise. And when your day comes, and it will come, you'll look back not with pride but with peace. You'll know you gave your best, and that is success. Not applause, not riches, but peace, the inner reward of knowing you lived fully, loved deeply, and labored truly. That's what we're after. That's why we work. That's why we climb. So, are the fish worth the cost? Only you can answer that. But remember, you only get one life, make it count. You are selling from house to house. You are ringing bells. That is a good place to start life. I started it there. You meet a different person every 5 minutes. If you can get them to listen to you, that is the first step. So many simply say, I haven't time, and slam the door in your face. You smile and go to the next. That's the game. But the man who can get inside the house to display his goods is the man who puts it over. The first requisite is a smile and a glad good morning. It is not an ingratiating smile, but a wholesome, big, warm smile. You know that you have something that they need, something they ought to have. You come there with the heart of a philanthropist. You have something to give. They are going to get something worth more than they pay for it. You are not trying to outdo them, but you are there to give them something worthwhile. You are not tricking them or deceiving them, but offering something that has value and integrity and substance, something that adds joy or comfort or usefulness to their lives, something that can lift a burden, brighten a day, open a door, or shape a future. You are not just selling a product. You are carrying hope and vision and transformation in your hands and words. I didn't know anything about the sales game when I went into it as a boy of 21. Salesmanship was not taught then as it is today. I became one of the pioneers of sales talk, teaching the art of salesmanship. I discovered early that sales is not about pressure or manipulation. It is about understanding and sincerity and a burning belief in what you carry in your case, in your heart, in your conversation. But I found that I could not sell unless I had confidence in the thing I was selling. I was selling pianos and organs from house to house. I tried to sell an instrument in which I had no confidence. I was an utter failure. I went back to the office and asked the manager which was the best piano for such a price. He told me. I went to the factory to find out all about pianos. I wanted to know how the things were built. I went through the factory and studied them until I knew everything a young fellow could learn about the instruments. Then I went out on the road. I knew that I had the best thing on the market for the money. I knew that if I could get a piano into a house and get the boys and girls to practice, it would change the future of that home. I went out to help the community. I succeeded. It was so easy to sell when I had the right mental attitude toward the people. I was trying to bless them. I was trying to help the folk who buy. Do you see the point? That is the real art of salesmanship. I was so dead in earnest about it. I was so enthusiastic about the bargain which I had that I carried them off their feet. I sold to people who had no music in them. I sold to them because of the excessive, burning desire in my heart to make them happy. That is the thing which sells. Settle it in your own mind. Is the thing you are selling worthwhile? If it is not, then get something that is. If you are selling insurance, bonds, autos, or groceries, know this. If your entire ambition is simply to get the money out of it, you will fail. But if you are giving them something that is going to be a blessing, and you are enthusiastic over it, you will be a success. People can sense sincerity just as clearly as they can sense pretense. People know when you believe in what you say. They know when you're excited because you've seen what this product or service or opportunity has done for others or for yourself. And that conviction lights up your eyes, powers your voice, and creates an atmosphere where doors open, hearts listen, and decisions are made not because of clever persuasion but because of felt authenticity and passionate care. And so, as I walked the streets, rang doorbells, smiled, greeted, and knocked, I began to understand humanity more deeply than ever before. I met the anxious mother, the overworked father, the dreaming child, the skeptical elder, the lonely widow. I saw behind each door a world of need, of hope, of worrying, of aspiration, and my job was not just to sell but to serve. And so selling became a sacred mission, not just a business, a calling, not just a career. It was the art of matching a solution to a need, the craft of listening more than speaking, the science of timing, the spirit of generosity, and the skill of storytelling. When I told the story of what that piano could do for a household, it wasn't fiction, it was real. I had seen it in the home of the Petersons, where the quiet son became a confident young man, or in the Millers, where the daughters found joy after the father passed, or in the Brooks house, where family arguments diminished because music softened the evenings and united their hearts. That is what I was selling. I was selling better days, fuller lives, brighter homes, and hopeful tomorrows. And when I knocked on a door, I knocked not to interrupt, but to introduce. not to intrude but to inspire. And that is the highest level of salesmanship. It is ministry cloaked in commerce, and purpose wrapped in profit. And so to those who are afraid of sales, who see it as demeaning or pushy or unpleasant, let me say that you have not seen it rightly. It is one of the finest trainings for life. It teaches you patience, persistence, empathy, communication, confidence, rejection management, time stewardship, and interpersonal wisdom. You become better at reading faces, interpreting body language, adjusting tones, and feeling energy shifts in a room. You become emotionally intelligent and socially sharp and mentally agile, all because you are meeting new people all the time, adapting your words to their worlds, and bringing your purpose into their present needs. So, if you are just starting and you find yourself discouraged at slammed doors or cold faces, remember this: every no is one step closer to a yes. Every rejection is a polishing of your skill. Every closed door is a chance to grow thicker skin and deeper compassion. And in time, you will find yourself stronger, more confident, and more capable than ever before. You will learn not to take it personally, not to let a no define your worth or determine your future, because you are more than the rejection, and the value of what you carry does not diminish just because one person did not see it. And over time, your numbers get better, your script flows smoother, your confidence feels quieter, your joy becomes deeper. And then you realize that you no longer just go from door to door, but from heart to heart, and from one small act of courage to another. And your income grows not because of luck or chance, but because of consistency and belief and the value you truly bring. And one day a young man or woman will ask you how you became successful, and you will remember those long days in the cold or heat, the aching feet, the harsh words, the few kind smiles, and the joy of each sale. And you will say, I started selling door to door, and I believed in what I had, and I believed in the people I met, and I never gave up. And I found that when you approach each knock with respect and hope and honesty, you are never truly defeated. And then you will look at them, smile, and say, would you like to come with me and learn? And just like that, the legacy continues, and another dream is awakened, and the world gets a little better because someone somewhere decided that selling is not just about products but about purpose, not just about goods but about good, not just about profit but about people. And that is the story I tell, that is the lesson I share, and that is the reason I still knock not just on doors, but on possibilities and futures and faith in the goodness of what we bring. You have 3 great enemies. These are mental traits that can be conquered. First, putting off decisions and action until a later period, never deciding anything when a decision is demanded. You face a great crisis in your life. You know you ought to make yourself mentally proficient along a certain branch of study. You are filled with enthusiasm until you take up the books. Then you say, I'll start this tomorrow. The moment you say that, you are defeated. Usually, one might just as well throw his books into the fire, because tomorrow he will repeat himself. The secret of winning is action. The greatest victories in life belong to those who act, who take the step even when the outcome is uncertain, who understand that indecision is a form of slow self-destruction. Every time you postpone action, you build a habit of delay, a habit of doubt, a habit of fear. And these habits form chains that quietly tighten around your potential. You look back after months or years and see all the dreams still sitting at the starting line, while others who dared to act are now running their races, some already past the finish line. It is not because they were smarter, luckier, or more privileged. It is because they moved. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. The smallest action is greater than the grandest intention. A dream written down is still a fantasy unless you wake up and work it. The people who shape history are not those who waited for perfect clarity or optimal conditions. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. The smallest action is greater than the grandest intention. A dream written down is still a fantasy unless you wake up and work it. The people who shape history are not those who waited for perfect clarity or optimal conditions. They are the ones who stood in the storm, made decisions, acted despite fear, and learned on the go. They realized that the mind prefers safety and comfort, but growth lives in discomfort and risk. The only way to develop mental strength is to train it, and training begins the moment you stop postponing. So, if you want to conquer the first enemy, you must start. Not tomorrow, not next week, now today, this minute. Because each minute of delay chips away at your confidence. Each postponed decision makes the mind weaker. Decide and act, and you begin to build an inner strength that becomes your greatest asset. Your ability to take quick, clear action is a superpower in a world full of hesitation. The second enemy is mental laziness. This is widespread. It is the line of least resistance and can be cured only by the sternest methods. The you that is in you is the real master of your mental processes. The you that is in you is the you the world is seeking. You must so honor that you give it its place of authority, of dominion over your faculties. Now drive your mind to work. You absolutely refuse to give it any rest until it has accomplished the desired amount of work. You must be absolute master of yourself, of your faculties. For your mind will always be lazy until interest has been created. Then it flows on smoothly, but interest is not always natural. Often, it is born out of discipline. You cannot wait until you feel like working. If you wait for motivation, you'll stay stuck. If you build discipline, you will be free. Mental laziness is like a fog that creeps in silently. It convinces you that scrolling through your phone is harmless, that watching one more episode won't hurt, that it's okay to relax a bit more, to delay just a little longer. But over time, this fog thickens. It dulls your senses, clouds your judgment, and numbs your drive. Soon, the goals that once excited you feel too far, too hard, too out of reach. Not because they are, but because you no longer have the mental energy to reach for them. Your real self, the powerful you, must rise. It must shout down every excuse. It must shake off the lethargy and push your mind to work, to focus, to create. Whether it is studying a difficult subject, writing that proposal, building your craft, or learning a new skill, your success depends on your ability to push past laziness and deliver. Mastering your mind is not about being hard on yourself, but being faithful to your purpose. It is about saying, I may not feel like it now, but I will do it anyway. And when you do it once, and then again and again, something shifts inside you. The fog clears, clarity comes, energy follows, progress returns. And soon, the discipline that felt like chains becomes the engine that propels you forward. It is not talent that separates the successful from the struggling. It is not IQ, background, or opportunity. It is this, the ability to work even when it's hard, boring, or uninspiring. To push yourself past comfort into contribution. To use the you inside you as a general that commands your mental army with courage and consistency. The third enemy is wrong talking, negative talking. I knew a man who started out in business with every promise of success. He had the right location. He had the right kind of business. He had a multitude of friends. He was a good beer and a good salesman. I went into his store on my way to the post office nearly every morning. I used to admire his store. It was so clean. The details were so carefully managed. A change came over him. He had a little domestic difficulty. He began to talk discouragingly. In 2 years that man talked himself out of a splendid, growing business. I did not know then what I know now, or I could have stopped him. He simply talked himself out. He discouraged people who came in. He was full of pessimism and doubt. He challenged everything. Finally, he talked himself into absolute failure. You cannot afford to talk failure, doubt, or fear. Why? Because words register in your heart and after they have registered, they take control of your life. What you say shapes what you believe. What you believe becomes how you behave. And how you behave determines what you receive. So every word of doubt, every sentence of self-sabotage, every whisper of negativity builds walls around your mind and limits your future. Speech is not harmless. Words are seeds. They grow into habits, mindsets, and realities. A person who constantly talks about how hard life is will live a hard life. A person who always mentions how unlucky they are will feel cursed. A person who rehearses failure out loud will experience it in reality. Why? Because you are programming your subconscious mind with every word you utter. The man who lost his business did not lose it because of the economy, or his product, or even his family troubles. He lost it because he lost the battle of the tongue. And when the tongue becomes a tool of complaint, fear, or blame, it weakens the spirit. But you can change your world by changing your words. Speak faith, speak hope, speak determination. Even when you are scared, say, I will find a way. Even when you're tired, say, I am strong. Even when it seems impossible, say, with effort and grace, I will do it. Train your mouth to align with your goals, not your fears. Let your words be fuel, not fire. Let them be ladders, not limits. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about shaping it. Your mind is a garden, and your words are the water. You must water your garden with truth, with hope, with strength. The three enemies: delay, laziness, and negative talking are not invincible. They thrive in silence and avoidance. But the moment you face them, name them, and fight them, they shrink. They are not monsters. They are habits, and habits can be changed. You change them by action, by discipline, and by speech. You rise each morning and say, today I act. Today I work. Today I speak life. And each day that you do, you reclaim a piece of your power. You rise higher in your thinking, your performance, your belief. You become sharper, stronger, steadier. You are no longer a victim of internal enemies, but a master of your own mind. And when you master your mind, you master your future. Your life bends in the direction of your dominant thoughts and daily actions. It doesn't matter how long you've delayed. It doesn't matter how many times you've been lazy. It doesn't matter how many times you've spoken defeat. What matters is what you decide now, right now, this very moment. Because this is where your power is, in the now. Not in the regret of the past or the anxiety of the future. Your enemies are not out there. They are within, but the solution is also within. The you that is in you is powerful, determined, intelligent, and destined for greatness. Give that you the microphone. Let it speak, let it act, let it lead. And you will begin to see a transformation, not just in your work, but in your entire life. Most of us are like wild land undeveloped. We show signs of real wealth, but it is lying underneath the roots and stumps and refuse that need to be cleared away to make the soil usable. Here is a voice with marvelous timbre, but no training. They write across it, unusable, undeveloped. Here is a face with a smile that has wrapped up in it a fortune, but the mind back of it is untrained, unfit, unready. We write across it, unavailable. What we need is hard work, not work on impulse, but on principle. We need to drive ourselves until we have developed the rich resources within us. The time to do it is now. Begin today to clean up that rich bottom land in your nature and get it into production at once. Make everything swing into line now to the one great objective of your life. Determine your future, settle what you are going to do, and then make every day pay tribute. Form habits of study, habits of industry. Learn to save the moments. The hours will take care of themselves. Form the habit of concentration, downright hard thinking. Drive your mind. Become an absolute slab driver over your own faculties. They are your slaves, your servants. Make them work, make them study, make them develop. Kill laziness, And that droning habit of dreaming, transform it into vital energy. Set the dynamo of a tremendous purpose loose inside of you. Indecision and wastefulness of ability and time must be destroyed. Fight for time. It is the most valuable asset you have. Cut every corner. Save every moment. Be exact with yourself. Put yourself on a schedule. Make yourself do your best. Wasting time is wasting ability. It is wasting the thing that makes you worthwhile. Learn to use it. Make your time your wealth. Make moments pay dividends. Carve out of every day that which spells success for tomorrow. Make yourself worthwhile. Make people want you. Make yourself so attractive, so vitally attractive, so valuable that men will hunt after you. Make opportunities where no opportunities ever existed before. Make yourself ready for the opportunity. Develop in yourself what the world is looking for. When people say there are no jobs, let your name be on the lips of 1,000 people because of how irreplaceable and diligent you are. Let them say there are no jobs, but if only we can find another like you. Let them say we may not be hiring, but we can't afford to lose this one. Be so consistent that you defy the stereotypes. Be so excellent that you disturb mediocrity. Be so ready that when opportunity knocks, you open not with nervous hands, but with a finished product. You must become a doer, not a dreamer. Dreams without action are chains. They bind you in illusions of progress, but you never move. Action is what separates those who rise from those who remain. Refuse to settle for good intentions. Wake up each morning with a battle plan, and go to bed each night with evidence of progress. Develop your mind, read widely, think deeply, and speak with clarity. Refuse shallow thinking. Refuse lazy assumptions. Stretch your capacity. Be uncomfortable. That's where growth lives. Be so full of knowledge and insight that your mind becomes a magnet for solutions. Let your presence solve problems. Let your words lift rooms. Let your ideas carry weight. You must take ownership of your development. Don't wait for a mentor, a boss, a friend, or a teacher. Be your own coach. Evaluate yourself. Correct yourself. Encourage yourself. Discipline yourself. Command yourself. The person you are becoming is far more important than anything you own. Who you are is the foundation of all you will build. And the raw materials are already within you. Greatness is not outside you, it is buried inside the wild land of your soul, under layers of excuses, fear, and comfort. Clear them, cut them down, burn them if you must. Get to the soil, cultivate it. Plant greatness in it, water it with discipline. Fertilize it with learning, and protect it with determination. Refuse distraction. Every time you give your energy to something unworthy, you steal from your future. Refuse comparison. Your race is yours alone. Focus is power. Train your will. Willpower is like a muscle, it grows when you use it. Say no when it's hard. Push forward when it hurts. Keep going when nobody claps. Learn to love silence and stillness, for in them clarity is born. And when you are clear, you are dangerous. Know what you want, see it in your mind. Speak it with your mouth. Work for it with your hands. Dream big, but hustle harder. Don't be that person who talks endlessly, but never executes. Talk less, do more. Let your results be your voice. Let your work be your reputation. Let your progress speak so loudly that your silence becomes power. Build character. Let your word be gold. Show up early. Finish strong. Take responsibility when things go wrong. Give credit when things go right. Don't make excuses. Make changes. If you fall, get up. If you fail, learn. If you're tired, rest, but don't quit. Quitting is betrayal to your dreams, your gifts, your purpose. Life is not waiting, it is moving. And if you don't move with it, you will be left behind. Time is not kind to the idle. The undeveloped land will not wait forever. Weeds will overtake it. Rocks will harden in it. But if you rise now, if you start now, if you commit now, You can turn that wild land into a garden of influence, a vineyard of legacy, a forest of impact. There is wealth in you, emotional wealth, mental wealth, spiritual wealth, creative wealth. Do not die with it buried. Make something of it. Multiply it. Refuse mediocrity. Burn the bridges to your excuses. Delete the contacts of your distractions. Starve your fears. Feed your faith. Reject everything in you that wants to stay small. You were not born to be hidden. You were not born to blend in. You were not born to live and die in survival mode. You were born to be seen, to be felt, to be heard. But first, you must become someone worth hearing, someone worth trusting, someone worth following. Master the basics. Excellence is built on fundamentals. Master your time, master your words, master your emotions, master your habits, master your thinking. Get your body in shape. Get your mind in shape. Get your spirit in shape. Build your stamina. Build your grit. Build your resilience. You will be tested. Life will not hand you things easily. You must earn them. And if you build yourself now, you will not be afraid when pressure comes. You will not crumble. You will not fold, because deep inside, you know you have worked, you have prepared, you have developed, you have paid the price in private, so you can shine in public. This is the difference between those who only wish and those who win. The wild land inside you is waiting. The trees are tall with potential. The ground is rich with talent, but it is up to you to clear it, to till it, to plant it, to grow it. No one can do your becoming for you. If you will take these next few months, these next few years, and turn your life into a project of discipline, growth, and service, you will become unrecognizable. People will ask how you did it, but you will know it was not magic. It was not luck. It was not connections. It was focus, drive, sacrifice, effort, and consistency. Decide now that you will never again live under your potential. Decide now that the wild land in you will be cultivated. It will be fruitful. It will produce. It will multiply. You will build something with your life that matters. You will create a legacy that outlives you. You will serve others through the strength you've built, but it starts with you. It starts today, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Be the land that becomes a harvest. Be the voice that becomes a movement. Be the face that becomes a beacon. Be the life that becomes a gift to the world. This is a little study of great things. One man started out in life without sponsors, without a university education, without money. Someone said to him, "What have you beside your two hands to make a success of life?" He said softly, "I have nothing but words." The friend smiled, not understanding him. So he started on his lonely quest for success with nothing but words. He learned the secret of putting things into words, of making words living things. He freighted his words with thought, clear thought, and after a bit, he learned the secret of putting his fine, clean, splendid manhood into his words. Men began to set a value upon his words. People would stop him on the street to engage him in conversation just to hear his words. You understand that almost every man who has climbed to the top of the ladder of success has climbed with words. Here and there a man has climbed because of an unusual voice or an unusual gift of artistry, but the majority of men have gotten their feet on the first rung of the ladder of success by words. They climbed rung by rung to the top. A man must put a valuation on his own words before others will sense their value. The ambitious man's words became his bank account. He studied, he dug deep, he thought through on problems. Other people learned to trust his judgment and his words, rather than to study for themselves. There is a vast army of people who have certain business ability, but they have to hire others to do most of their thinking. He supplied that want, he did the thinking. By and by they were willing to pay him almost any price to have him think for them. His words became valuable. They were his servants. How they labored for him. He filled words with inspiration, with comfort, with hope for others. He sent them out on wings, until they passed from house to house, from lip to lip. He found himself being quoted here and there. His words were doing things. They were his servants working for him. He had learned the secret of words. By and by, publishers paid him almost unthinkable prices for his words. Why? Because he had learned the art of filling words with inspiration, new life. Let's study words. Let's learn to fill them with goodies for the children, healing for the sick, victory for the discouraged, and we will win. The man who learns to master his words becomes a master over his world. The world listens to people who say something worthwhile, and they follow people who say it well. If your words carry truth, conviction, courage, and clarity, you become a beacon in a dark and confusing world. Many waste their words in idle chatter, in gossip, in complaint, and never realize that they are scattering gold dust to the wind. But those who conserve their speech, who refine it, who pour meaning into every syllable, these are the ones whose voices linger in memory, whose words outlive their years. One cannot afford to speak aimlessly. Speech is power. Words build or destroy. They open doors or close them. They light fires or quench them. They elevate or debase. The wise man knows this, and chooses his words with the care of a jeweler cutting diamonds. He knows each phrase is a tool or a weapon, a bomb or a blade. And so, the man who learned to work with words began to see that language is not merely a method of communication but a force of creation. He spoke worlds into being. He spoke futures into lives. His sentences were seeds. His conversations planted harvests. People came to him for advice, for vision, for hope. They wanted to hear what he would say next, for his words made them feel they could go on, they could believe again, they could rise above. This did not happen by accident. It came by discipline. He read, he studied, he practiced, he repeated. He failed and retried. He labored like a craftsman sharpening a chisel, knowing that the day would come when he would need to carve a path with his tongue, shape destinies with his declarations. And that day came. One by one, opportunities began to unfold. Doors that had been closed to the less articulate swung open for him. He walked through them not with riches in his hand, but with words in his heart and purpose in his mouth. He had made himself a treasure house of phrases, a vault of thoughts, a library of ideas. His words began to make him known in places he had never been. They traveled further than he could walk. They found ears he had never seen. They carried his message to cities and countries and halls of influence. People quoted him in speeches, in articles, in classrooms, in homes. His voice, recorded or printed, lived in other hearts. And still, he remained a student of words, always learning, always refining, always reaching deeper for meaning and expression. He understood that words grow stale if not renewed, that the tongue must be trained like an athlete's body, that lazy language becomes lifeless. So he pushed himself, tested new ways to say old truths, wrapped ancient wisdom in fresh garments. And the world loved him for it. What began as nothing but words became everything. It became his career, his calling, his crown. He who had no sponsors now sponsored dreams in others. He who had no education became an educator through expression. He who had no money became wealthy through vocabulary. And you, yes, you have words, too. You have within you the same treasury, waiting to be unearthed, developed, refined, and released. Your words can heal a wound or deepen it. Your words can stir up courage or sow fear. Your words can revive a soul or crush it. Your words can command attention or repel it. So, study your words, value them, practice them. Stop wasting your breath on what does not build. Start investing your mouth in what gives life. Make your words work for you. Train them like a team of horses. Harness them with discipline. Yoke them with wisdom. Aim them with purpose. Speak less, but with more power. Let your silence be golden, and your speech be diamonds. As you build this power, as you choose each word with care, you will see doors open where none seemed possible. You will feel people draw near to hear your insight. You will leave impact with nothing but the echo of your voice. You will shape minds and destinies without lifting more than your lips. The power of words is available to all, but mastered by few. Decide today to be among the few. Decide that your words will rise above mediocrity and move into mastery. Refuse to use language merely to pass time or fill air. Refuse to be casual with the most powerful tool you possess. Begin today to shape your tongue like a sword for justice, a pen for truth, a trumpet for hope, and one day, like that man who had nothing but words, you too will look back and realize those words made you rich not just in money, but in meaning. Rich in relationships, rich in reputation, rich in reach. Your words will go where your feet cannot. They will speak when you are gone. They will defend your name, spread your values, carry your vision. But only if you treat them now as treasure, as responsibility, as power. So do not say you have nothing. If you have words, you have everything you need to begin. And if you will begin speaking life, begin speaking truth, begin speaking with excellence, then nothing will be impossible to you. Remember, words build bridges over impossible terrain. Words unlock imprisoned souls. Words start revolutions and revive generations. Do not take them lightly. Do not throw them away. Guard your words like gold. Hone them like steel. Cherish them like children, and release them like arrows into a world desperate for direction. Yes, this is just a little study of great things. But if you understand it, and if you act on it, it can make your life one of the great things in this world. All from nothing but words. Perhaps they never told you, but they measure you by your words. You are rated by your words. Your salary is gauged by the value of your words. Your words make a place for you in the business in which you are engaged. Neither jealousy nor fear can keep you from climbing to the top if your words have value that belongs at the top. The organization is bound to give you the place that belongs to you if your words bring forth the right results. You don't have to put on, you don't have to exaggerate. All you have to do is to be natural, but make that natural worth listening to. Study your work. Study how to say things. Study how to use words that will change circumstances around you. Make a study, an analytical study of words. Then see how much you can put into a single sentence. I don't mean how many words, but how much you can put into the words so that when men and women listen to your words, they will be thrilled by them. The clerk in a 5 and 10 cent store said, "Good morning," in such a way that I turned to look at her. She had put something into her words. She had put herself, her personality into her words. Her words rang. She sold me some pencils at 2 for 5 cents, but she sold them as though she were selling a Pierce-Arrow car. After I had left the store, I felt inclined to go back and watch her deal with other customers. Cut out the useless words that stand in the way. Eliminate all the words that would hinder the thing you want to put over from reaching the mark. Make your words work in the hearts of those who listen. Trust in words. Trust in the words of your own lips. Fill them with loving truth. Think in your heart of how you want to help those who are to be your customers, how you're going to bless them, and how the thing that you have is necessary to their enjoyment. It is what you put into your words that makes them live in the hearts of the hearers. Empty words die in no man's land. They never get over the trench. If they do, they are duds. If they do get across and people hear them, they amount to nothing. Living words, words bursting with heart messages thrill and grip. Love always seeks the right word to convey its message without loss in transit. Clothe your thoughts in the most beautiful words, but don't sacrifice pungency for beauty. Blend them. Be deliberate with your expressions. Your words must carry weight, not from volume or vocabulary, but from intent, emotion, and integrity. Never underestimate the power of a soft-spoken truth or an honest phrase carefully delivered. Speak not just to inform, but to transform. Speak not just to be heard, but to be remembered. Fill your words with vision. Paint pictures with your speech. Inspire action. Don't merely describe what is, reveal what could be. When your words awaken dreams in others, you gain influence. Influence is not a function of position or title. It is born in the crucible of communication. When your words feed someone's hunger for purpose or direction, you become a light in their path. Practice putting power into your sentences. Read them aloud. Feel them. Taste them. Does it stir something in you? If not, why would it stir something in another? The difference between common talk and commanding speech is preparation. Fill your inner reservoir with meaningful ideas, noble intentions, generous thoughts. Your words can only draw from the well you've dug inside. If that well is shallow or dry, your speech will be, too. But if you have cultivated a heart of understanding, a mind of clarity, and a will aligned with truth, then your speech will overflow with impact. Even casual conversations will carry weight. Even greetings and goodbyes will be memorable. Great orators are not always the loudest or most dramatic. They are simply those whose words feel alive. Their words don't just land on the ears, they land on the soul. Let that be your goal. Whether you are speaking to 1 or 1,000, treat your words with reverence. Don't throw them out carelessly. We live in a noisy world. People are bombarded with words every minute. What makes your words stand out? It's the life you pour into them. It's the heart that beats behind them. It's the clarity of your thinking, the strength of your convictions, the sincerity of your soul. Remember, words are not only spoken, they are written, texted, emailed, posted, printed. Every word you release into the world carries your identity with it. Every word represents you. Be intentional. Be authentic. Be excellent. One well-timed phrase can open doors, settle arguments, win opportunities, build bridges, or heal wounds. Likewise, one careless sentence can destroy trust, sever relationships, or close doors for good. Never say, "They're just words." There is no such thing. Every word is a seed. What you sow, you shall reap. Speak with the consciousness that your words create the world you live in. Speak with the reverence of a sculptor shaping stone. Speak with the passion of a poet writing for the ages. Speak with the care of a craftsman laying gold. Then you will see that what you say begins to form the framework of your influence, your reputation, your future. A simple greeting can leave a lasting impression. A brief affirmation can change someone's direction. A small correction, said kindly, can save someone from disaster. Don't waste such opportunities. Don't think your words are too small to matter. Speak with dignity, even when you're casual. Speak with strength, even when you're soft. Speak with purpose, even when you're playful. Words are tools, and you are the builder. Words are gifts, and you are the giver. Words are seeds, and you are the sower. Choose them wisely. Carry them carefully. Scatter them generously. Sharpen them thoughtfully. And never stop learning how to use them better. Read great works. Listen to great speakers. Practice constantly. Reflect deeply. Ask yourself after every conversation, did my words add value? Did they uplift or enlighten? Did they reflect my true intentions? Or did I speak simply to fill the silence? The world is full of noise. We need voices that cut through the clamor. Be one of those voices. Be the one they remember, because your words were like water to a thirsty soul, like light in a dark room, like music in a moment of silence. Let your words breathe life into boardrooms and backrooms, into classrooms and living rooms, into emails and meetings and marketplaces. Whether you're selling a product, sharing a vision, resolving a conflict, or expressing gratitude, say it well. Learn the art of condensing meaning into a few potent lines. A single sentence, if filled with conviction and clarity, can be more powerful than an entire speech delivered without soul. Speak from the heart, but with the mind engaged. Don't ramble, don't bluff, don't brag. Say what matters, and mean what you say. People follow those who speak with direction. They trust those who speak with integrity. They admire those who speak with grace, and they remember those who speak with love. Let your words reflect the best of you. Let them be seasoned with wisdom, rich in understanding, soaked in sincerity. When you talk about your work, make people feel they're witnessing something sacred. When you talk about others, honor them with your tone. When you talk about yourself, do it with humility and purpose. Speak less about what you've done and more about what you're doing for others. The value of your words is not measured by how clever they are, but by how helpful, how healing, how inspiring they can be. Be the kind of person whose words are quoted when you're not around. Be the kind of person whose advice is repeated because it works. Be the kind of person whose speech builds up rather than tears down. And if ever you fail in speech, as we all do at times, be quick to apologize, quick to clarify, quick to restore. Because even the best wordsmiths are still human. Growth is not perfection, it is the commitment to improve every time you fall short. Make it your mission to be a student of words for life. Fall in love with language. Respect its power. Never stop refining how you speak and write. The more you master your words, the more you master your world. Because in the end, success is not about how loud you are, it's about how clearly you communicate, how deeply you connect, how beautifully you can say what others feel but cannot express. That is where your real advantage lies. That is how you climb without force. That is how you rise without stepping on others. That is how you lead without shouting. That is how you get paid more without asking. That is how you become irreplaceable. So start today. Take inventory of your vocabulary. Sharpen your message. Fill your speech with purpose. Practice eloquence. Practice warmth. Practice truth. Learn to read a room. Learn to silence distractions. Learn to listen deeply so you can respond wisely. And as you do, you will find that your words make space for you in every arena. They will carry your name into places your resume cannot. They will preserve your dignity when everything else is stripped away. They will build your brand, your legacy, your influence. And all of it will begin with something as simple, as accessible, as powerful as this: your words. Empty words hold no more interest than a last year's bird's nest. When we fill the words with ourselves and we are honest, our words will be honest. Others grow to depend on them. I know a young man whose words are filled with love and unselfishness and a desire to help people. Whenever he speaks in the company of people, they listen to him. Nowhere do words have the strange effect that they do in a radio message. The minister who speaks over the air in a cold, dead voice will get a cold, dead response, no matter how beautiful the thoughts he has or how beautifully he clothes them. If the words are not filled with love, with faith, they don't live. Faith is built by words. Deeds have their place, but deeds are the children of words, in a large measure. You speak, then I watch you perform. It is your speech that attracts my attention. Your deeds have their place, and we give you credit for them, but it is your words that set us on fire. You can fill your words with anything you wish. You can fill them with fear, until the very air around you vibrates with doubt and fear and restlessness. You can fill your words with fear germs, and you fill me with fear of disease and disaster. Your words are filled with interrogation points, with a sense of lack, with hunger and want. Or you come to me and your words are filled with faith. Your faith words stir me to the very depths. I wonder why I ever doubted. Your words enwrap me within themselves. Your words are like sunlight, like coming into a warm room from a cold, frosty atmosphere outside. Your words pick up my drooping, broken spirit and fill it with confidence with which to go out and fight again. They are faith words, wonderful words. The reason Jesus' words had such far-reaching influence was that they were faith words. When he said to the sea, "Peace, be still," the very sea grew quiet, and the winds hushed their noise to hear the words of faith from the lips of the man. The deaf could hear his faith words. The lame and broken could rise and walk and run because of his faith words. There was something in his words that drove disease and pain out of the body and fear out of the heart. I can hear John say, "I used exactly the same words, and that boy was not healed." Now the Master takes the words out of my lips and fills them with something, and when they are heard, the child is healed. What did Jesus put into his words that had such healing power? A salesman is talking. He says, "I cannot understand it. I used the same argument, the same method, and I utterly failed. I used almost the identical words, and yet they said, 'No, I cannot buy today. I have no special interest in this thing.' Then the other man came and took my seat. He used the same formula that I had. The man became interested immediately. After a while he reached into his pocket and pulled out his checkbook. What did that man have that I didn't? One man's words were filled with pure mentality. He said the things like a phonograph. The other put living faith, interest, and love into his words. When this last salesman sat down, there was a look of quiet assurance on his face, and his first sentence registered because he believed in the thing he was selling. He not only believed in it, but he believed that if the customer purchased it, it would be a blessing to him. It was a safe and wise investment. This man generated faith, created faith in the customer. The customer put his hand in his pocket and held it there quite a while. He was holding on to his checkbook. By and by he said, "I will take so many shares. That looks good to me." His check was written and signed. The deal was made. Why? Because the salesman had filled his words with faith. His was Job's cry to his friends. They came as comforters. They stayed as tormentors. Words heal and words break. Words destroy and words make life as we find it today. Words heal us and words make us ill. Words bless us and words curse us. The words I just heard will linger through the day. How little women realize that a biting, stinging word in the morning will rob her husband of efficiency through a whole day. A loving, tender, beautiful word, a little prayer word will fill him with music that will lead him on to victory. We need the martial music of faith that only our loved ones can give to us. How little we have appreciated the tremendous power of words, written words, spoken words, words set to music. A Southern officer said to a Northern friend, "Had we had your songs, we would have conquered you." A political speaker said, "You won the election because you had better speakers than we. We had more money, but we did not have words well spoken." You see, men and women, that a study in words is one of the most valuable assets in a life. Learn how to make words work for you. Learn to make words burn. Learn to fill words with power that cannot be resisted. Mussolini held Italy in his hand by the power of his words. Austria was conquered by Hitler with words: no powder, no poison gas, no bayonets, just words. How we wait for a message made up of words. The secret of advancement in life lies in the ability to say the right kind of words. My ministry over the air is a ministry of words. I fill them with love. I take God to fill them with Himself, and so I send them out to bless and cheer. Mothers, your home atmosphere is a product of words. Your boy failed because wrong words were spoken, right words were not spoken. Why is it that some families grow up so clean and strong, fight their way through college, and go out in life's fight and win? It is because the right kind of words were spoken in the home. Words make a boy love education. Words bring a boy to church or keep him away. Think of something of infinite importance, and then learn to choose the right words to express it. Then send the words out with pen or tongue. The way we say it has tremendous weight. Every public speaker should make a study of words, the kind of words that count. Then before he leaves his study, he should so charge his mind with God and God's ability that when he stands before the people, that ability will fill his words until his people are thrilled. He should make the delivery of words a study, an art. He should fill all his words with kindness, with love. Every man in the sales game should make himself a master of words. Try out words in your own home. See how they work. Fill your lips with lovely words, beautiful words, until men will love to meet you, long to hear you speak. Remember, words are apples of gold in network of silver. Stepping out of sin consciousness into sun consciousness is stepping out of failure into success. Sin consciousness keeps a man shackled to the weight of his past, imprisoned by guilt, buried beneath the constant reminder of his unworthiness. But sun consciousness liberates him, lifts him, clothes him with dignity, and crowns him with the awareness of divine acceptance. It replaces shame with righteousness. It replaces trembling fear with holy boldness. It replaces the defeated whimper of a lost soul with the victorious shout of a redeemed heir of God. To step out of sin consciousness is to drop the heavy load of condemnation and pick up the light and easy yoke of Christ. It is to stop seeing yourself as a servant begging for crumbs and begin seeing yourself as a son seated at the table, eating the bread of heaven with confidence, assurance, and joy. It is to rise above the inferiority complex that has told you for years that you are not good enough, that you will never be enough, that you do not have what it takes, that you are always behind, always lacking, always struggling to measure up. When you live in sin consciousness, you compare yourself to everyone and always come up short. You try to earn God's favor with dead works, and you wallow in the mud of spiritual defeat. But when you make the transition into sun consciousness, you realize that your identity is not anchored in your past sins or your present weaknesses, but in His finished work, in His boundless love, in His eternal grace. Sun consciousness breathes life into your spirit and makes you aware of your spiritual DNA. You are born of God, created anew in Christ Jesus, fashioned for good works, designed to reign, empowered to overcome, and commissioned to represent your Heavenly Father with glory and dominion. Stepping into this awareness is not just mental assent, it is a spiritual awakening, a transformation that rewrites your internal script, that renews your thinking, that energizes your walk, and that compels you to live with your head lifted and your heart steady. Do you remember that old cartoon or magazine sketch? The image of the skinny, timid man, scrawny and embarrassed, watching a stronger, bolder man take what he wished he could have: the girl, the respect, the admiration. Then the skinny man decides enough is enough. He enters the gymnasium, begins to train, day after day, building muscle, building confidence. When he returns, he is no longer the same. He walks into the room, and everyone notices the difference. He speaks, and there is power in his voice. He stands tall, and no one dares push him around. That's a picture of what happens when you train your spirit in God's gymnasium, when you begin to feed on the Word, to fellowship with the Holy Spirit, to confess what God says about you rather than what guilt and fear say about you. When you begin to see yourself through the mirror of God's Word, not through the dirty window of your past mistakes, you become strong-rooted, unshakable, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. His Spirit has become your coach, your teacher, your trainer. He is building you from the inside out. Every time you meditate on His promises, every time you speak His truth over your life, every time you declare, "Greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world," you are lifting spiritual weights. You are tearing down the muscles of doubt and rebuilding them with faith. You are tearing down the ligaments of insecurity and reinforcing them with identity in Christ. Slowly but surely, the inferiority complex that kept you from rising is swallowed up in the victory consciousness of the Son of God. You no longer tremble before challenges, but face them with calm assurance. You no longer hide from opportunities, but walk into them with confidence. You no longer avoid conflict, but resolve it with love and wisdom. You begin to realize that you are not alone. You have a master now who is building you up daily. You are no longer under the rule of the cruel master called sin, who beat you down with shame, who whispered fear into your ears, who manipulated your feelings and told you lies. You have a new master now, Jesus Christ, the righteous one. He does not dominate with fear, but leads with love. He builds, he strengthens, he equips, he edifies, he empowers. Walking with him day by day fills you with an awareness that you are able, not because you have it all together, but because he has already done it all on your behalf. The more you walk with him, the more you breathe in the courage of his personality. The more you absorb his ability, the more you are filled with the radiance of his righteousness. You say goodbye to the dark nights of guilt and torment. You close the door on the past with its regrets and mistakes. You draw the curtain on your days of spiritual poverty and step into the light of your inheritance. You ascend to the highlands of faith, of confidence, of spiritual dominion. You shout with joy because you are not the same anymore. You are a new creature in Christ Jesus. Old things have passed away. All things have become new. No longer do you wake up tormented by the thought of unpaid bills, because lack no longer controls you. Money no longer intimidates you. It no longer whispers that you are a failure. Now you tell lack where it belongs, under your feet. You face financial challenges with wisdom, faith, and the confidence that your God supplies all your need according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. And it's not just money, it's also ability. For years you thought you couldn't. For years you bowed to the idea that you didn't have what it takes. But now you know better. You understand that God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. That means you are more than able, more than competent, more than sufficient for every good work and opportunity. How it used to mock you, how it passed you by while you watched others take steps of faith, how you said, "Not me, I'm not ready." But now you walk with a different mindset. You no longer shrink from open doors. You walk through them, knowing that he who opens doors before you has also equipped you to occupy them with grace. You are no longer afraid of responsibilities. You are no longer worried about failing, because your faith is not in yourself, but in the one who works in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. And worrying, that cruel tyrant, that joy-stealing thief, has lost its grip. Worrying, the child of fear and unbelief, no longer finds a home in your soul. For it is written, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known unto God." And you've done just that. You've cast your cares on him because he cares for you. You have trusted in the Lord with all your heart and refused to lean on your own understanding. And now his peace guards your heart and mind. Now you walk with clarity, with focus, with inner stillness. The days of inner chaos are over. You are not a victim of mental torment anymore. You are a possessor of the peace that passes understanding. Worry no longer consumes your energy. It no longer keeps you awake at night. It no longer ruins your appetite or raises your blood pressure, because you know God is for you. And if God is for you, who can be against you? No army of enemies can conquer a man who is anchored in God. No wave of bad news can shake a soul that is hidden in the secret place of the Most High. No mountain is too high, no valley too low, no fire too hot for the man or woman who has learned the secret of absolute trust in the Lord. For such a person lives in a different realm, a realm of quiet confidence, a realm where battles are won before they begin. a realm where success is not driven by ambition but by revelation, where strategies are downloaded from heaven and executed on earth with divine efficiency. And so if you are still struggling under the burden of fear, if you are still living beneath your privileges as a son or daughter of the King, it is time to settle that great issue. It is time to go away by yourself. Shut the door, lift your hands, and surrender everything to Him. Let go of your need to control. Let go of the voices of shame. Let go of the fear of man. Let go of the lies of the enemy, and embrace the truth of your identity in Christ. Ask the Holy Spirit to flood your heart with light, to open the eyes of your understanding, to reveal to you what is the hope of His calling. What are the riches of the glory of His inheritance in the saints? And what is the exceeding greatness of His power toward you who believe? Then rise, rise in faith, rise in love, rise in boldness, rise in Son consciousness, for the world is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. And you are one of them, born not of flesh nor of the will of man, but born of God, called for such a time as this, equipped with divine power to shine, to heal, to build, to speak, to lead, to bless, and to conquer. So walk out of that prison of sin consciousness and don't look back. Burn the bridges behind you. Leave the grave clothes in the tomb. Step into the glorious liberty of the sons of God. Step into joy. Step into purpose. Step into peace. Step into strength. Step into wisdom. Step into love. Step into fullness. Step into victory. And never turn back. Can everyone be successful? The fear of failure hangs like a dark cloud over many lives. I know that success belongs to every one of us. We may not be great financiers or great authors, but in our place in life, we may know that we have one. It is necessary that we make the right choice, find out what our talents and abilities are, and have them properly trained and fitted to achieve the desired end. There are a few things that are absolutely imperative if we are to fulfill our part of life's program. There must be a purpose from which we cannot be swerved. There must be the right kind of companionship. The wrong kind of associates are a serious handicap, but can be overcome. Some of us will be handicapped with physical environments that seem almost insuperable, but we can conquer. A young man came to me just recently to talk over his future. He said, "So far I have been a failure." After he opened his heart to me, I saw where his difficulty lay. What he needed was God's help and companionship. I am not talking religion, for I never talk that. But this young man needed the help that only He, the great unseen one, can give. He said, "Will you tell me just how to get in contact with God?" He was genuine. That young man was real. My heart went out to him. There was something so big, so full of the right kind of ambition, that he challenged all that was in me. I said to him, "It is necessary that you take Jesus Christ as your Savior, and that you confess Him before your family, before the world, as your Lord." He looked up at me and said, "That should not be difficult. No one should be ashamed of Him." I said, "The moment you do it, God will give you eternal life. You will become His very own child. Then you will have not only the help of God as your own Father, but you will have the intercession and strength of Christ. Then He will give you the Holy Spirit, who will come into your life and live in you. You will soon find what this will mean. You can do a great deal alone, but when you have received eternal life within your spirit, that will increase your intellectual efficiency 10 to 50%. As your mind is renewed through reading the Word, you will find a freshness in life such as you have never known. You will know that God is in you, that His ability is your ability. You can face any kind of a problem now and know that you are a victor. Your words will have something in them that they never had before. There will be a power in your very presence that men will feel. Always give God His place. Give Him a chance to show Himself. I don't mean that you are to talk religion to people. You just let God have His place in your life, and you will talk about Him. You will know that He is in you. You cannot fail with him in you. Nay, in all these things you are more than a success. I can do all things through him who gives me strength. These mighty scriptures will hold you. God will be the strength of your life. He will make Jesus to be wisdom to you. That new, strange, wonderful, love nature of God will permeate your very being. You will be wanted. Men want genuine men and women around them. You will have the thing the world needs and the world lacks. You will find your place in life easily with this new addition of wisdom, of strength, of ability in you. When others are unsure, you will be steady. When others fall, you will stand. When others hesitate, you will advance. The new nature in you, birthed by the Spirit of God, will begin to shape not only your destiny but the destinies of those who come into contact with you. What seemed impossible before will now become an opportunity for God to show himself strong through you. People will wonder how you do what you do, and you will quietly know the secret. Christ in you, the hope of glory. As you yield more to him, you will discover that your ordinary life has become extraordinary. Your goals will shift from selfish ambition to divine assignment. Your conversations will become channels of light and peace. Your actions will carry weight because they will be charged with divine purpose. Each day will start not with dread but with anticipation, because you know that you do not walk alone. You are yoked together with the Almighty. Your failure will no longer define you, because the one who never fails is now your strength. Your past mistakes will no longer torment you, because the one who forgives has now declared you clean. You will rise above the fear of people, the anxiety of lack, and the prison of comparison. The joy of sonship will replace the heaviness of sin consciousness. You will find yourself doing more with less effort because grace is now your fuel. You will find rest in your soul even in the busiest of seasons, because the Prince of Peace dwells within. You will handle rejection with maturity, because you are already accepted in the Beloved. You will handle success with humility, because you know the source of every open door. You will stop trying to impress men and start expressing God. You will stop striving and start flowing. Your confidence will no longer come from degrees, titles, or connections, but from the unshakable knowing that you are God's beloved, equipped and called for such a time as this. Your mind will be renewed daily. Your words will build and not break. Your presence will comfort and inspire. The same mouth that once confessed defeat will now proclaim dominion. The same hands that once trembled will now heal and help. The same feet that once wandered aimlessly will now march purposefully. You will learn to listen to God's voice above the noise of the world. You will hear his instructions in the quiet moments. You will obey even when it costs you comfort. You will grow, not in fame, but in grace. You will become a pillar of strength to others. Your testimony will carry fire. Your legacy will echo eternity. You will not be manipulated by fear or pressured by trends. You will stand firm, clothed in righteousness, driven by love. You will notice that you are no longer afraid of tomorrow because the one who holds tomorrow holds you. You will understand that success is not just what you accumulate, but what you become. And you will become light. You will become hope. You will become a living letter read by all men, and they will say, "This one has been with Jesus." The old labels will fall away. Failure, weakling, unworthy, forgotten, those names will be erased. In their place will be written victorious, faithful, anointed, child of the King. You will begin to walk with a new gait, not arrogant, but aware that heaven backs you, aware that angels surround you, aware that Christ lives in you. Your journey will become a message. Your scars will become stories. Your wilderness will become your wisdom. The things that once broke you will now become bridges for others. The nights you cried will be turned into all that fuels others' flames. You will not curse your pain but bless it, because through it you found him. You found life. You found yourself. And now you can help others do the same. Yes, you can be successful, not just in the world's terms, but in heaven's measure. Success is becoming who God had in mind when He formed you. It is completing your assignment. It is hearing "well done" from the one who matters most, and that kind of success is available to everyone who will dare to believe, who will surrender their small plans for His grand design, who will trade striving for abiding, and who will say, "Not my will, but yours be done." In that surrender, you will discover the secret of true success, and it will carry you through every season, through every challenge, through every storm, because now you know you were never alone, and you were never meant to fail. You were born for this. You were born to win. You were born to shine. And you will, with God in you, you will.